Orloff, it is great to have you in person.
Great to see you again, Deb. I think the last time we saw each other in person was 2 years ago.
2 years ago. I'm glad you bring that up. That was nearly 2 years ago to the date that you issued that Black Swan memo warning founders at the start of the pandemic of a new economic reality. So I wonder, 2 years later, with everything going on in the world right now, are we at another similar disruptive moment? What are you telling your CEOs and founders, and how does your new fund structure play into what you guys can do?
So the fund structure unfairly enables us to think really long term. And so the advice we have for our founders is similar. They've got to see through the short-term fluctuations, the issues around geopolitical stability, threats of war, economic uncertainty, what's going to happen with inflation, what's going to happen with employment. These are all uncertainties, but the great founders just cut through that and focus on building for the long term.
Like they did during the pandemic. John's got a question for you.
Sure.
Rolf, good to have you back. I wonder what's happening with just the texture of deals right now. A lot of companies that have gone, startups that have gone public recently are trading at lower valuations, worth less than the private capital they raised. So is there any sort of shift in the conversation happening at the term sheet level yet, or no?
The public market clearly is going to have an impact on private company valuations and fundraising. Prices are sticky downwards. It's sort of a term in economics. So I do think the valuations in the private market are a little slow to adjust, but there's a reality that people look at the alternative sometimes of investing in public securities instead of private companies. But again, our focus is on partnering with a select number of founders to build long-term businesses, and so these sort of short-term fluctuations don't really affect our business day to day.
That said, Orloff, and this new structure is allowing you to look through things like geopolitical crises and inflation. Are you doing anything differently in the current environment? Are you looking at different kinds of companies?
I think the geopolitical climate doesn't particularly affect it. Now, if you think about our history, we've always partnered with companies at the very earliest stages, at an idea stage, and we want to be with them throughout their company building journey. And the old structure, the traditional VC fund structure, was based on a 10-year closed-end fund structure that artificially terminates the relationship with the founder. And so the Sequoia Capital Fund enables us to partner with these companies for a much longer period.